Click the link in the description for your free Amsoil catalog. It's time for a quick shout out to some of our friends. B&B Auto Sales, your muscle car connection in Brookings, South Dakota. Above the Notch Car Club, a car club for auto enthusiasts in northern New Hampshire. The New Hampshire Muscle Car Club, the largest muscle car club in all of New England. MGM Classic Cars in Addison, Illinois. Visit mgmclassiccars.com today. Beach Hill Automotive in Bethlehem, New Hampshire, specializing in the repair, service, and towing of muscle cars and classic cars. Absolute Auto Body and Collision Repair in St. Johnsbury, Vermont. And lastly, I am your independent Amsoil dealer. Click the link in the description for your free Amsoil catalog. And last but not least, if you decide to advertise with the Muscle Car Podcast, this could be part of your advertising message. Well, good evening and welcome to the podcast. I'm really glad you're here. Now, I have a robust lineup of muscle car entertainment on tap for you tonight. But before we get into all of that, I want to make sure that everything is working properly. So if you can see my face and hear my voice, I'm going to ask you to leave a comment. Please let me know where you're viewing this from and whether you are a first-time viewer or a regular viewer. Now, to our first-time viewers, if this is your first time viewing the podcast tonight, I hope you have a good time with us, and I hope you decide to join us here each and every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, this podcast simulcasts to 8 different places across Facebook and YouTube. So wherever you're viewing this right now, just circle back in 1 week's time, and we'll be waiting for you with another fun-filled episode. To our regular viewers who are here week after week, month after month, and season after season, you are the ones who make this possible, and we really, really appreciate that. So let's take a few quick comments here, and then we'll bring our friends on, and we will get this party started. Let's see, we've got BCJ Vids in the house saying hello. Hello back. Nice to see you. Our good friend Mike Whiteside is here saying good evening. Nice to see you. Appreciate that. Also, our good friend Kevin Culhane is here, loud and clear from Sudbury, Ontario. Good to hear it. Appreciate that. Also, our good friends from the very beginning, Stacy and Art Fosler, are in the house viewing from Platkill, New York, and we appreciate your being here as always. Well, good. Let me change screens here. We'll bring our friends on, and we will get our party started. Gentlemen, how are we doing tonight?
Very good.
Oh, just great.
Well,
Doing
thank you
good.
for having us.
Well, cool.
I should have worn my raincoat, but it's okay.
Yes, we've got some weather coming, don't we? For sure,
Yeah.
for sure.
It's
Now,
the weekend. It's going to rain.
Our guest tonight has been on this podcast many times. He's a good friend, especially to Virgil and I. In fact, we met him at a car show, and we've met up at many car shows over the years. This is us at different car shows, hanging out and having a good time. And our good friend Jake Dwinell is here. He's there in the top middle of the screen. In fact, he is. Let me do this graphic here. The car guy's car guy. And Jake, that's a cue for a shameless plug. If ever there
Well,
was
thank
one.
you. Yeah, I am. My name is Jake Dwinell. I sell Ford, so if anyone's looking, please feel free to reach out. But I thank you for having me on. I'm here today to talk about some of the automotive adventures I've been trying to have in the last year or so. So it's been pretty busy with multiple runs from New York to LA, different other events, and just buying and trying to work on old cars while, working a full-time job.
For sure. We appreciate that. And that's the cool thing about Jake. He's always good for a really good story. And that's our cue to kick it off here. We've got a video clip. Do you want to set this up? This is a Cannonball Run that you did recently.
Yeah, of course. So a couple months back, I ran an event that we kind of created called the Cannon Small. Cannonball was a thing back in the 1970s where you ran from New York to LA as fast as you could. And then the last 50 or so years, it's really evolved and become, kind of a culture. And so we wanted to do a group event with a few people, but we didn't have a huge budget and we didn't want anyone going way too fast. So we invented, and a friend of mine, Veronica, and my friend Mason Dibley invented this thing called the Cannon Small. And I can't really take credit for too much of it, but it was a great time. The requirements were the car had to have around 100 horsepower. There was no year requirements, no price really, as long as it was something kind of cool and kind of unique. So it had to have right around 100 horsepower. So I took my 1979 Mercedes that I'll probably talk about a little bit later. It's got about 100 horsepower, not super fast. There was another 1987 Mercedes diesel that was also very slow. There was a Toyota Prius, but before everyone kind of jeers, the guy had converted it to a self-driving car. So he had installed the system on it. It wasn't self-driving from the factory, and he set the autonomous record, which is the least time hands-on wheel from New York to LA. He did like 38 hours of driving, and I think he had his hands on the wheel for about 25 minutes total. They timed every time. And then a first-gen Honda Insight that the guy had driven 2 days before from the West Coast in Canada, from British Columbia, all the way to Connecticut, where we started, to California, and then back up to British Columbia. So he did kind of a lap of North America. But the video here is just going to kind of show a little bit about us driving and getting there and at the finish, and it was a good time. So definitely, cool. We can, I think, send it from there.
Well, cool. Let's take a look. Let's cue up the video here, and we will take a look.
This is our lineup. We've got Jay and Gypsy in the Prius. We got Veronica and Kit and Ben, their 300 SDL W116 280 SE with fuel cell. And we got the Honda Insight first gen with a big old fuel cell and a big old antenna.
When it comes to Cannonball, you're always doing preparation. This was at the last minute at about midnight the night before. Just going through the vehicles, prepping antennas, CBs, making sure everything was ready to go.
Through there to the pump, which is nice and mounted. Up, through there. And then comes out, goes in the fuel filler neck.
The next morning, we all met in Darien, Connecticut, which is the home of the 1979 Cannonball, as well as a few other runs since then. We started here to do a Le Mans start. Our time cards were pre-punched for 10 a.m., so we stood about 100 feet away from our cars, counted down, go, and ran.
Here we go. Who's got time? Everyone's got a touch.
Jay, are you going to flick
The cars couldn't be running. You had to have the key in your hand. We counted down, yelled go, and off to California we were.
Boogity, 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 boogity.
Oh God, I hope so.
Go.
System on.
All right, everybody in?
Go. Fuck. The Mercedes are off.
I'm tired. Who wants to drive?
Object on road confirmed 1.0.
They won.
This was the third Cannonball I've done, but the first one in a group setting. It was really cool to all leave at the same time and watch as we all traveled across the country jockeying for spots. One variable you really don't have any control over is the weather, and unfortunately on this run, we had quite a bit of it. We hit rain for 2/3 of the run, but that's all part of it. We still had a great time as friends in it. We saw some incredible sights.
It is 4:30 a.m. That is what we're driving through right now. That is what we're driving through right now.
We might as well be storm chasers for real. Beautiful. I don't know, 10, 15 minutes.
We use this really cool app where we're all able to see where the other cars in the drive are, as well as have other people follow us across the country. After an uneventful 2,800 miles, we started rolling through California and into the finish line at the Portofino Hotel and Marina in Redondo Beach.
Dude, that was funny. We don't have signs
At the finish line, we have mailed out a second time clock, so when you could come in, you could punch the clock and see what your time is.
Stuck behind the Range Rover. What's the kid?
Yeah, right.
This Range Rover is like, why are the people recording? Get it up right. Go. What's it say? Nice. What is it? Well done. What is it? Which one, 92? Oh, we gotta figure it out. Ready, Fuck. Come on. Where is it? Right here. Come on. Go.
Did you put it in?
Just put it in. Other way.
Top.
Other side.
We're filming. Don't worry.
Where? Right there. Here?
And then hit the top. Punch the top.
Do we get it? Nope. There you go.
All right, move your car.
Might need to do it again.
Racing classic cars across the country has become one of my favorite pastimes. At the end of the day, the place that you finished really doesn't matter. This was about friends coming together, driving as fast as we could across the country, but more importantly, doing it safely without any issues. And that's what Cannonball is really all about.
That's some good times right there. I wish I could join you guys sometime. That looks absolutely amazing.
It's a lot. I mean, it's 2 straight days of kind of being on edge and focusing on driving, but it's a great time. And I've met some really incredible people that all kind of love to do crazy stuff the same as me. So it was cool. And leaving all at once was fun because for the first 100 miles, we're all right there. So, it's, and again, we're being respectful. We're not cutting people off. Just, one gets in front, the other gets in front, and then we all just kind of split off.
Sure. Yeah, and I like the idea that you're doing with a bunch of friends too. That just adds a whole lot of fun to it, I would think.
Yeah, and then and that's kind of to the point of like it doesn't matter who wins and who loses. We got there at 7 o'clock, and we had a great time and went out to dinner, and we were all wired, so no one really could fall asleep anyway. And just kind of had a good party for 2 days, and then I returned home and did a run on the way back. So
that's cool. Well, cool. Reactions to that, Michael?
Yeah, I wish I could do something like that. I get to stay home all the time. I don't even get to do car shows anymore because all we're getting is rain. But yeah, I would love to do something like this. I never toured the country, and this would be a nice way to do it. But I don't have a car. I don't really have friends to get together with me to do this. But I would love to do it at some point. But I don't see it happening. But I would love to do it, though.
Yeah. And how about you, Rob?
Jake, how many hours was it?
So we did it in allegedly 35 hours and 54 minutes, which was the same time that Brock Yates and Dan Gurney did it in 1971 on the first Cannonball. And they had a Ferrari, so
No one got a speeding ticket?
One car, the other Mercedes got a speeding ticket, 80 and a 70. But other than that, really no issues. And like I said, we drive fast, but everybody is focused on the road ahead, the weather. We saw a tornado touchdown in Oklahoma, which was crazy.
Wow.
Nice.
Wow. That's crazy. And Virgil?
Oh.
What was that?
We're getting a choppy signal on you, Virgil. We're getting a choppy signal on you, Virgil. I don't know if you can get any closer to your Wi-Fi. I don't know if that's the issue or. Oh, we lost him.
I guess he's going to try to reset the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, maybe he'll
be back.
We've got comments coming in too. We've got our good friend Ben from Vintage Mini Bike Lovers saying, "Good evening, all." Quick comment about that. Ben and Rob and I do a vintage mini bike podcast the second Sunday of every month. So wherever you're viewing this, circle back second Sunday of every month at 8 p.m. And if you like those mini bikes from the 60s and 70s, you do not want to miss that. Also, our good friend John Spranger Jr. from the very beginning is here saying good evening from Wisconsin. Great to see you, John. Appreciate you being here. And well, cool. Let's pull this down and let me get back to the menu here. Look at what we're doing. Our next on our list here is Amsoil. So if Rob is ready, We're going to put you full screen, Rob, and going to give you a chance to do Amsoil.
I'm ready.
Excellent.
Number of times we talked about the Amsoil synthetic, the first 100% synthetic oil ever on the market. But we talked about that a lot. And a lot of people on this show is really interested in our Z-Rod oil, a high zinc oil. One of the only ones in the market that has 14 parts per million of zinc. And that's what you need for the cams and rockers and lifters. I love this container. I call it the toothpaste container. Gear lube, automatic transmission fluid, ATV oil, all that comes in this squeeze top. Do you know how easy to fill up a rear end with that instead of using a pump bottle? But last week we had a great little video we showed about the other products Amsoil carries. This is the mudslinger that we use for ATVs, dirt bikes, and everything. Power foam, carburetor and engine cleaner. This really comes out like a foam, you know, the old stuff you used to clean the ovens with, not like a stream of Varsol like some of the other ones in the market. And a product I use a lot is a heavy duty MP. It's not a metal detector, but I use it to uncoat my vehicles. My vehicle has 1,300,000 kilometers on it. I spray my frame and everything. We spray the snowplow with it. We spray the lawnmowers before we start cutting the grass with it. That way nothing sticks to it. But it's a lubricator and a penetrating. That's a lot of the other products we have available. But to mention something not on the good news, what happened last week, the guy that started the NSRA, North American Street Rod Association, passed away, Mr. Walker. He was the owner, president of National Street Rod Magazine. I know Mike's been to one of the NSRA shows before.
Yes.
Just like to say hello to this family and all that, and hope they're doing okay.
Yes, let's send them some love, absolutely, at this difficult time for all of his family and friends. That is sad news, and we thank you for sharing that with us.
And because of him, that's why there's so many car shows around. He was one of the first ones to start it. He also owned Walker Rad, so anybody that had a street rod with a Walker Rad, that's the man who invented it. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely a pioneer in that space for sure.
Yep.
Cool deal. Cool deal. So,
and for more information on Amsoil, you can click on the Mike's site.
Yes, link in the description. And we thank you for using our link, because when you use our link, Rob and I both benefit. I'm a dealer under Rob in the interest of full disclosure. So if you like these podcasts, it's a wonderful way to support it, because selling Amsoil is how we pay the bills. And we thank you for doing that if you're considering it. And the people who have been doing it, we thank them as well. You guys are the ones paying the bills around here, and we appreciate that. Oh, and Virgil is back.
All right.
There we go.
I was having like a bunch of static.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
We were having it too. We were having it from you also.
Oh, I had to turn it on. I had to turn my phone all the way off. So
I had to reboot.
All right.
Yes.
Oh,
I'm back.
Yes. There is one other famous person that passed away too. The guy that played Norm in Cheers passed away too.
Yeah.
I did see that. Sure. So let's see. The next item on the agenda here, since Memorial Day is just around the corner, we've got some images from our own Micheal Delage of military vehicles. So we're going to take a look at that. Let me cue that up here, and we'll react to it on the other side. And yes, here it is. Let's take a look. So yeah, thank you so much to Micheal Delage for those images. We really appreciate that. And Michael, you want to give us a quick backstory as how you came upon those images?
Oh, I'd gone to different car shows, and then I found that it had some military shows going on. You had to pay admission to go in, and that's how I got, the military tank and the image that you're seeing right now with the little tractor. And notice on this tractor, if anybody don't know us, look in the front of the machine. You actually have one of these things in the front.
Hand crank. Wow.
An old wrist breaker.
Yeah, I bet.
But I mean, to see these military tractors and stuff, that was something I was like, wow, because that's something that normally you don't get to see for a military to still, sell them after they're used. So, and then the tanks, that's something rare itself to find, because a lot of people just don't have a way to take a tank. All the other stuff is normal. I mean, a lot of this stuff is at Gillette Stadium. There's a group of guys that come in week after week with the same trucks, but then there's other pitches here on the grass and different places. And, so I'm just been collecting them, and I try to get all the information, exactly what is a military name for the vehicle and everything else. So, I have a lot more, but I just wanted to keep it simple, and not have a little bit of different years, different models.
Sure. Yeah, we appreciate that, Michael. And since Memorial Day is right around the corner, I just wanted to do a moment of silence and a big thank you to all of the veterans, and especially the ones we're honoring this weekend, the ones who didn't come back. So just a quick moment of silence for those people. So yeah, thank you so much to our veterans.
Thank you
We
for your
appreciate
service,
that.
guys.
Absolutely. Big salute to those guys. Absolutely. Well, cool. Let's get back to the menu here. Let's see where we are. We're going to continue the conversation with Jake Dwinell. And in case you've missed Jake Dwinell over the years when he's come on the podcast, we've got a lot of those video clips lined up. Very entertaining. He always brings quality content here. So let's take a look. Here's a video clip from when Virgin and I first met Jake. I think this is 2022 at the Waterbury, Vermont car show. And we ran into Jake, and we all instantly hit it off, and the rest, as they say, is history. So let's see where it all began for the three of us.
All right, now to the barn find.
Yeah, I bet there's a story here.
Barn find.
It's a good quartering shot. I like those wide tires on the back there.
Yep, looks like a straight out the drag strip.
Yeah.
Subframe connectors, everything, huh?
Yeah, it was set up for drag race in the 80s, parked in the 90s, and this is the first time it's been on the road.
Wow.
Yeah, we drove to the gas station once a little bit, but we spent the last week getting it ready. We did brakes, tires, put a new carburetor on it, new fuel tank, and put some glass in it, and got it here. It's the first time it's been driven, really.
Wonderful. Yeah, I heard you saying earlier it's a barn find. You just pulled it out of a barn.
Pulled it out of a barn. Storage unit, but yeah,
sure.
Storage unit barn combo.
Hey,
but
same,
it's
same thing.
It's awesome, man. Yeah, like I said, it's sat for so long, and we had to do. I mean, it's a Pontiac Firebird 400 4-speed. We had to do it justice by at least getting it on the road.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
It's been a fun car.
That is cool.
And we'll see how far we actually take it with it. But for now, at least it's a driver. So
yeah.
If anything, that's it.
What do you have in mind for a project? Any thoughts yet, or still thinking about it?
We'd probably keep it the way it is, just do the body work on it. We're going to do rear quarters, fix the A-frame. A tree fell on it, and I think that's why it was originally parked. The windshield was just obliterated. So we'll fix all the body work, maybe get the motor running right a little bit better. It still struggles a little bit. Just put a spool in the back and just have a burnout machine.
Yeah, that'd be perfect for that.
Yeah, we don't know how far we'll actually get the whole restoration to it, but like I said, in the meantime, we're just going to be driving it.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Cool deal. Let me give you a DVD for doing this.
Cool. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'll definitely check you guys out. Awesome.
All the details are right on there.
I appreciate that. That's so cool. Thank you.
Yeah, nice meeting you.
Yeah, and what was your name?
I'm Jake.
Jake. Nice to meet you, Jake. Jake and his lovely girlfriend.
She drove the car here. I drove my Viper, so yeah,
nice.
she drove this one here.
Oh,
sweet.
So you got a Viper over here also?
Yeah, the black 93 over there in class 12.
All right.
So it's a good little pairing. They're fun on the interstate.
Totally.
Yes. So now you got to figure out which one's faster on the strip, right?
Yeah, I think the Viper might have this one. Maybe with a little bit of work, this one might take it.
Updated technology, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Go to Princeton there.
We're going to the one in Pittsburgh?
I'm not sure about that one.
See you again.
Likewise. Oh, good.
There he is. Perfect timing.
Oh, it's the car.
And then I think there's the one in...
This one's all original 1993 Dodge Viper.
I'm going to go to that one.
I didn't make a lot of them in black this year. It was like one of 115. Amazing car. I haven't checked that. Daily drive it. I put 10,000 miles on it in the last year, and it just goes.
All right.
Big V10 under the hood, manual transmission, Dana 44 rear end. Just simple. No traction control, stability control. It's just you in the car.
Oh. Side pipes?
Side pipes, yep. No factory top for it, no factory windows, no door handles on the outside. It's just stripped. There's nothing to this car except a big engine V10 and a 6-speed Tremec. So,
wow.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's the best car I've ever driven.
Oh. Like you say, all stock and none of those traction control and all of that stuff. So
Nothing on it. It's got a radio. That's the only thing that's been done to it.
You got to be a driver.
You got to be a driver. Yeah. When I bought this car, the first time I ever got in a Viper was 20 hours home from Illinois. I just pointed it. Car didn't cool down until I got home. And by then I knew it perfectly. So it's a very comfortable car.
All right. So not a rain car.
I've driven a lot of rain in it, and if you know what you're doing, but it can be very scary. It's got 14-inch wide tires on the back, so it can hydroplane pretty easy.
Yes.
But if you know what you're doing, it's not that hard to drive.
Comes with 14 on the back?
Yeah, 335 foot factory.
Yeah. What year is it?
93.
Is that the first year?
Second year.
Second year.
Yeah, they didn't make a lot the first year. They only made 1,100 the second year.
My friend's father bought it in the first year. He had to wait for it to come in.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Paid 80 or 90 for it.
Yeah,
By the time he got it, it was worth 100.
Yeah, you know, they've, and I didn't buy it to make money, but I also bought it knowing that when I do go to sell it, I'm not going to get too burned.
Yeah.
It's not going to depreciate like a lot of other stuff. So.
And you do use it a little bit?
Oh yeah, I bought it last year. Drove 1,000 miles home, put 8,000 miles on it in the meantime. Drove to Philadelphia this spring. It's a driver's car.
Good.
So, do you want to get close for an interior shot?
Yes, sir.
I'm happy to pop the hood if you guys want to see it.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Please.
Sweet interior, huh?
Car, yes. All stock.
No,
Yeah.
just they were taking some videos of it. But one of those things, everything's for sale for the right price, you know? I paid 40 for it. That was a year ago. They've gone up a little bit. Realistically, for me to get rid of it, I'd have to get 50, just because I love it so much.
So $50,000.
You get special rights and privileges.
It's going out a little bit. The car market was great.
And the Hot Wheel.
Yes, for sure.
14-inch
It's not
wide.
Pittsburgh, Bethlehem.
Ooh, 275 40 17s up
Big
front.
deal, man.
And then up.
So yeah, good times at the Waterbury, Vermont Car Show with our good friend Jake Dwinell. Jake, what are your recollections of that day or that moment when we all kind of met?
That was, I mean, it was great because, you know, you guys, I like what you're doing, walking around, looking at all the different cars and talking to them. That was a really cool day for me because that was the first time that we got, that is my wife's Firebird, really down the road more than like, 10 or 15 miles. We took it, I think, 40 miles that day. She went 105 on the way there, had no speedometer on the dash, and she was just trying to keep up with me, which is crazy. I actually just brought that car back home. It was up at her family's camp. Her father actually unfortunately passed away. So we brought the car back, and we're going to try to get it. It hasn't been on the road, in about a year. So we're going to just try to make it really roadworthy, and we want to take it on a Smokey and the Bandit drive next year. So, but that was a fun day, just seeing all the cars. That year it didn't rain. I think the next two it did. I think the year after that it like poured on us on the way home, and it died on the side of the road, and that was a whole nother story in itself.
But yeah, we can't wait to see an update on that Firebird for sure. Yeah,
we just got it home. I actually I have a truck that I bought to launch off a cliff in Alaska, which sounds crazy. I've been doing it for a few $100s, nothing crazy. And I towed it home with that, and I was like, oh, surprisingly a good truck for a few $100s, and it towed the Firebird home.
Nice. Yeah, you'll have to do a video on that Alaska adventure as well.
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen the videos before, but there's a small town in Alaska where there's a 300-foot cliff, and they don't get nighttime in Alaska, and it's all 24-hour sun because of they're so far north. So instead of fireworks, the small town just launches cars off a cliff, and it's really blown up into this huge thing. And so me, and again, same thing, group of people that I'm good friends with are all going to meet up in Minnesota and do a 10-car caravan up there, and we all have a few $100 beaters, and the odds of us all making it up there are pretty slim, but we should be fine. And I figured do something like that.
Yeah, Jake, I have some friends that go to that. And at the bottom of the hill, all the spectators are there. I don't know how the spectator doesn't get hit.
No, I've seen videos with like a Radiator fan buzzing by people's heads, and I'm like, wow. Hopefully, luckily my truck is slow, so it won't go that far and hit them. But there's my friends last year shot a school bus off, which is more power to them. Short one.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And Rob, reactions to this video we were just looking at?
Oh, I like the video. And how do you get away with letting your wife drive that and you drive the Viper? My wife wouldn't agree with that.
That's her car. She loves that car. So that's the Viper's mine. That's hers, and we're gonna we have plans for that car, so it's actually streetable. Because right now it's just such a project that to drive it's an ordeal. So plan is for her, I want her to be able to drive it to and from work and around town. So the 400's coming out. We're going to rebuild that eventually. It'll go on a pallet in my barn for a little bit. And I'm looking for a 5360 Vortec LS to just put in it with a 5 or a 6 speed, give it some good highway gears, but very reliable, fuel injected, turn the key and go power.
In a month's time, I'm doing a show called Smokey and the Bandit, and the guy has a replica of the tractor trailer and a replica of the police car, and everybody puts their Trans Am in front of it and get their pictures taken, all that. So I'll send it. I'll send it to Mike, and Mike can pass it on to you.
Yeah,
I would love to see that myself, Rob.
And I'm trying to get the guy to come on the broadcast, Mike. But.
Yes, yeah, we got to do that. Definitely.
Yeah,
and Jake was telling us about a run that he does, kind of along that line.
Yeah, so it's as being a car guy, obviously that's one of all of our favorite movies. So I have some friends that are based down in Atlanta, and they do an event where they there's some tours that we need to get in Texarkana, and you have to drive from Atlanta nonstop to Texarkana and back to get Coors. It's about a 1,350 mile drive, right, just under 1,400 miles, and they do there's a good amount of cars, just under 30 cars that ran this year. The rules are it has to be pre-1984. So there was a couple Trans Am replicas. There was everything from a C4 Corvette, my 1979 Mercedes. There was a DeLorean that ran. I've got some good footage. I'm going to try to make a video of this. And we all ran, and I came in 9th out of 29 cars. Which I was pretty impressed with. We were in a car that makes 100 horsepower hanging in there with, I was 1 minute slower than a C4 Corvette, which isn't a powerhouse, but can cruise at, higher speeds comfortably. But it was just a great, we all get together, and at the end, we have a big parking lot party. As the cars roll in, you're cracking the Coors that you just got. We were the only people that put ours on ice. Everybody else was drinking warm beer. But it's just all of us get together, and every time we can, drive cars, everyone does it safely. That's the most important thing. It's a good time.
That's a blast for sure. And Virgil, reactions to everything?
Oh, I think he's.
Okay, here we go. Hello?
It's cutting through again.
Yeah, we're getting choppy audio on him. But I know he has good memories of that day for sure. All right, yeah, he's going to try to reboot, I think. And Michael, reactions?
Yeah, when I like both of these Firebirds, I'm always this Firebird and the Dodge Viper. And when I was looking at the Viper, one thing came to mind. You were saying that it's not very good on slick roads and you get wet weather. No. I seen this guy one day. I don't think I had pictures of the car, but I did see it. And this guy has a Dodge Viper engine for a motorcycle. And if you had a cars with the traction with this car in the wet weather, I wonder what that bike must be like.
Well, you're basically hugging the V10 when you do that. I've seen that bike. It's crazy.
I think Jay Leno owns it, doesn't he?
Yeah, I have no interest in driving that. I
heard a bike that I'm going to have to put on this podcast again. Pictures of this car. This guy has got a 350 and another 350 right behind it in line.
Yeah, I've seen that before. Oh, I don't know.
I don't know how in the heck you could do the timing just perfect for both of them.
Yeah. Now, Virgil, we got audio on you again. How are we doing, Virgil?
I think my line is still messing up.
Yeah, it's still choppy, man. Yeah, we're having a hard time for audio.
He's too far from the Wi-Fi.
I think so. Are you able to get any closer to the Wi-Fi, Virgil?
Oh,
Well, he's going to try. Well, meanwhile, let's keep the party going here because we've got plenty of clips to look at, and the clock is ticking here. Let's see. Next, we have. Whoops. Sorry. Just trying to get myself in the right place here. So next, we've got. Oh, this is a video that I know you mentioned about your father-in-law, Jake. He'd recently passed away, so this is a nice tie-in, maybe as a tribute to him. You did a video a while back of a car that he had purchased, and you had taken for a drive.
Sure.
Let's take a look at that, and while we're doing that, we'll
Hey,
be thinking
Jake here, and today I'm going to be showing you my father-in-law's 1957 Chevy Bel Air 4-door. This has always been one of his dream cars, and he's finally in a position now where he was able to buy one. This example has a 350 and an automatic transmission swapped into it. As you can see, it's sitting on some classic Krager SS's, and it's in pretty good shape. Definitely a good project. Under the hood here, you can check out the small block Chevy that someone put into this probably a few years ago. Other than that, this car is mostly stock brakes, stock suspension. It does have some interior work that's been done to it. As you can see here, it's got some nice aftermarket bucket seats, some nice gauges, but still a very classic and comfortable car. One weird quirk of the interior I really like is this ratchet shifter. You got to pull it down for every gear shift. So there's reverse, neutral, and then drive. And speaking of drive, let's get this beast out on the road.
It does steer really well.
That big steering wheel is your power steering in a car like this. Drove really well up until the point where my father-in-law told me to watch out for the brakes.
What's that?
Careful about the brakes, but
Is that? Whoa! Whoa!
I haven't tried them yet.
This thing's all. They hit the brakes and it shot into the.
And while it could use some brake work, that's all part of the project, and that's something we're going to be doing down the line in this car.
Brakes are a little sketchy.
And while this car may have less power than your standard minivan on the road today, or it might have some of the scariest brakes that I think I've ever driven with on a road car, it's an experience driving a car like that, and that's why we love cars like this. No one goes out and buys a 1957 Chevy to commute in. They buy it to drive on the weekends, to tune around with, and just to have a good time. And that's why I love this car. I'm really glad my father-in-law was able to buy it. He just had it shipped up from Maine to Vermont. So we're definitely going to be getting out on the road soon and enjoying it this summer. So if you see us at a car show or at a Cars and Coffee, stop by, say hello, and let's talk about cars.
Yeah, it's a nice way to remember him. And Virgil and I met you and your wife and him, I think, at the 2023 Waterbury show. He was a really good guy.
I appreciate that, and that's what he loved to do was classic cars. And so, a little update on this car. So he went through and did the brakes, and that was about it. And we just had it as a driver. I think we probably put 300 or 400 miles on it, and then we tucked it in my barn. And I actually just recently sold the vehicle. He passed it on to my sister-in-law. My wife got the Firebird. And so, we sold it to a nice woman who was very excited to drive it. She said her kids were really excited to, cruise around in a classic car with her. So the car is still being loved. It's by people. It's in good hands. But I couldn't believe it. I'll say this. We took that car. It had been sitting in my barn for about a year and a half. And it's not climate controlled. It's as barn as you can get. And a little bit of starting fluid. The battery was completely charged. It had no problem cranking. And it drove itself out of the barn. I could not believe it.
Huh.
Need a little bit of transmission fluid. We probably did a 5-mile lap in it. It was kind of a send-off. But there's something to be said about old, simple cars that can sit for a year and a half with old gas, old battery, and just fire right up with a little bit of starting fluid.
For sure. That's amazing. Yeah, and a wonderful way to remember him, too. That is cool.
Of course.
And Michael, reaction to that?
Yeah, I mean, I have a fondness on the 57 Bel Air. because my great grandmother owned one. And then there was a fire next to the house. It was a big above gas tanks, high winds, and it took the house, the roof, and it literally toasted the two cars that were in the driveway. But then she ended up getting another Bel Air. I think it was maybe a 58 or 59, and she hated it because I call it the Bel Air that got squashed, because the roof got squashed down and it got spread out, so it got longer, but you didn't have the headroom like you would have on this. And I always like the 57 because I like that V shape in the back and all the stuff in it. The only thing I hated about this car, though, is that the 55, 56 had the V, in the interior for the clock on one side, then the readout on the other. And then why in 57 do they go with round gauges? I just don't understand why Chevy did that. You finally got the V outside the car. Why not just leave the V inside for one more year?
Yeah.
One more year.
Crazy. And Rob?
Oh, what a great design car. I don't know why they don't have chrome on cars nowadays.
Oh.
Was that shifter, Jake, factory?
No. So that is from the factory. This was a 3 on the tree car, and someone put, I believe, like a turbo 350 or something of that nature, like just a 3-speed automatic in it. But it was that's like a drag racing style shifter, and it's funny you had to like click it really into gear. Which is there was a few times I was I commuted it. I drove this car to work a few times, which is like a 30-mile drive. And there was a few times like in the intersection pulling into work, I had to do like a turn and the shifter just like disconnected. I had to like jam a screwdriver in there. And luckily I got it going.
I like the amount of times you got to turn the steering wheel to go around the corner.
Oh yeah, and it's
Armstrong steering.
It's a big wheel.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And then Ski Hive is watching us tonight saying everybody wants the 2-door, but that 4-door is cool, especially with those Kragers. Absolutely.
I've had a fondness for 4-doors because you can fit all your buddies in the back. Everyone can pile in. So
Absolutely. That's cool. Well, let's see what else we've got here. We've got, okay, so Jake did another Cannonball Run a few years ago. We're going to play that clip right now and see another Cannonball experience. So let's roll that here and we'll react on the other side.
Oh, cool.
Our Cannonball Run. I started with this 2005 Mercury Grand Marquis, which was little old lady owned, covered in chrome, fiberglass top, and had a beautiful white leather interior. I wanted to go more for the cop car look like a P71, so I took the Landau top off, only to find a bunch of rust underneath. Luckily, I had my father-in-law, Tony, who helped me do all the body work and paint it, even though he really did most of the work, and it came out awesome for even painting in barn conditions. I chose this car because it has a V8, rear-wheel drive, really comfortable interior, and with a little bit of disguising, we can make it look like a detective car or a police interceptor. Our plans were to be discreet and stay under the radar, something we would need if we were going to be traveling at a high rate of speed for a long distance without any interruption. Along with blacking out all the chrome, I got some cop car steelies, put some fresh tires on them, gave them a coat of glossy black paint, and added the chrome center cap for that perfect look I was going for. Our plan was to have about 200 pounds of fuel in the trunk, so we were going to need some heavy springs. Unfortunately, the perches were rotten off the rear end, so I had to have that pulled out. While I was in there, I did all new control arms, new bushings, and make sure I was safe for the 3,000-mile trip we were going to have. I went over this car with a fine-tooth comb to make sure it was fully ready. I added a new set of brakes from Rock Auto, which, after our long drive, were pretty much worn out. I had a lot of extra wiring, like these LED fog lights, so I made a custom center console, which housed all of my switches, all of my controls, and an auxiliary fuse box fed right off the battery. Countermeasures like radar detectors, GPSs, police scanners, brake light kill switches, and more are really nice things to have, especially on long-distance drives. The final product really did look like a cop car. I made my custom honeycomb grille and blacked out the tail panel to replicate more of the P71 Interceptor look. One thing that was really important was fuel. We had a 30-gallon cell in the trunk, which was pump fed into the fuel filler neck, which led directly into the main tank. This gave us a range of about 700 miles between fuel stops. On a Cannonball, stop time is time that you'll never make up, so it's important to limit that as much as possible, and this was a good solution for that. What little space we had left in the trunk, we hopped in the car and headed to the starting point, the Red Ball Garage in New York City. At 9:45 at night, we pulled up to the Red Ball Garage. Very same place that the original 1971 Cannonball Run started. We sat there programming all of our GPS screens and timing devices as we sent our last messages to people who were watching us in GPS tracking, most of whom have done runs themselves and were giving us really helpful advice. As the clock struck 10, I hit the gas and started to make our way out of Manhattan.
About a half a mile. Cool. Come on. We're actually cooking pretty good.
Got out of the Lincoln Tunnel and into New Jersey in a respectable 14 minutes and 50 seconds. California is still 2,800 miles away. We made sure to do as much as we could while driving, giving the backseat passenger some time to rest in between long driving shifts. But most of the time, we tried to be alert and keeping an eye out for things that might stop us. A good set of binoculars, all our countermeasures, and our overhead spotters meant that we always had an eye in the sky.
Rolling through Terre Haute right now.
Front K-band. K-band.
We even got some footage courtesy of a few toll cameras. As our main tank started to drain, we would pump fuel from the auxiliary tank into the fuel filler neck. Doing this, we were able to get away with only 4 fuel stops across the country. We had a really good system, and we were able to fill 50 gallons of gas in about 4 minutes average. On a drive like this, there's really no time to stop and experience things firsthand. So it's almost like the whole drive is compressed, and you're watching a time lapse of the whole country. States go by, landmarks pass. The sun rises and sets around you. We drove straight across the panhandle of Texas and saw Cadillac Ranch, this really cool art installation in the desert of Amarillo.
We are coming up on the last leg of our trip. We're rolling just past Santa Rosa, New Mexico. Mike is driving, he's killing it. We got about 906 more miles to go. We're on track to hopefully break Dan Gurney's time. We'll see. We'll see.
Well, the current record stands at 25 hours and 39 minutes. Our goal was to break the legendary Dan Gurney and Brock Yates' 1971 time of 35 hours and 54 minutes, which at the time was a record.
Nothing in front of us except open road, the Portofino.
As the sun started to set, we made our final push west towards California, finally making our way to the Portofino Hotel Marina in Redondo Beach, California. We pulled in at 5:41 a.m., punched our clock, and stumbled out of the car. I had to take the obligatory photo at the Portofino gatehouse. 3 of us had managed to drive 2,800 miles, cause no issues, and have no interactions with any law enforcement. We had a goal and we set out to achieve it as a team, and that's exactly what we did. We beat Dan Gurney and Brock Yates' time by over an hour, and it was truly impressive for us. And luckily, my fiance at the time didn't have to fly to a random police station to come bail me out, which was something we were a little bit worried about, as we had some plans while in California. Hey, I'm
Yeah, that's good stuff right there. Yeah, thank you so much, Jake, for that. Any
No, that's,
reflections on that, Jake? Go ahead.
Well, that was cool. I mean, that's, that was my first like major long distance, time to drive, and a lot, it stayed the same. A lot's changed. The guy who was doing overhead for us at the time, who I'd never met, he would like sit on his computer and watch traffic, police, weather radar, just, make sure we are on track. He has now become a great friend of mine. I've actually done 2 runs with him, and he will sit on binoculars for 20 hours on end, just looking at traffic, looking at cars ahead, looking out for accidents, construction, anything that might get in our way. And then, it said Cadillac Ranch. I mentioned that there. I've always driven by it 3 times. I've always wanted to stop. So on the way back from when we were out there a few weeks ago, we had decided that we were going to try to do a 42-hour run, but stop and do stuff. So on the way back, I actually got to stop and go to Route 66. It stood on a corner in Winslow, Arizona. Yeah. But I did paint Cadillac Ranch, which was like an iconic thing. I've always wanted to do that. Hopped right up on the car and started painting all the old Cadillacs sticking out of the ground.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And Rob, reactions to that?
So after driving 34 hours,
yeah,
we drove the car home.
So this time I shipped the car home, and I made the mistake. Normally you price stuff out before you do it, but I left it in California and was like, I'll ship it. And I get back and start getting quotes, and like more than I expected to ship it. Like it was. I thought it was going to be like $800. It was like twice that. But this time I drove back, and I'll tell you, the drive back's a lot worse than the drive there. Yeah, flying home's the way to go. Rent a car, leave it in California, and fly home.
Yes. Crazy. And Michael?
Yeah, I mean, seeing that whole trip, the first things to come to mind, because I have a lot of police scanners in the house. I know that there's several states that do not allow police scanners in the cars, several states that don't allow radar detectors. So if you ever got stopped and they have a law in that state, and you're in trouble with the scanner and the radar detector, depending on what state you're in.
Yeah. No, so radar detectors, Virginia and Washington, D.C. Luckily, when we do drives like this, typically we don't go through those states. So when I drive through them personally, I unplug it. Yeah. No problem. Police scanner, that is considered, what I have is more considered a CB, and I can turn off all scanner settings. So it's one of those things where, like, it's a calculated risk. But, you know, I'd rather have it and, you know, and have to kind of explain it than not have it. And most of the time it's entertainment more than anything else. I'm listening to, you know, just the police chatter, the trucker chatter, the CB channels are still live and well in middle America. You hear truckers. I've had some great conversations with truckers. I don't know if they knew I was in a car, but.
But I do know that, you know, I like to go out with my girlfriend and I would like to install a scanner into the vehicle, but then I'm like, yeah, well, if I do that, then, you know, the cold, the heat, you know, so I'm concerned about that. So it will have to be taken out every time, you know, so you're not leaving out in the cold and heat all the time.
Yeah, I've been lucky with mine. I've had mine through the winters for 4 years now, and I've just that scanner I've had installed in 6 different cars. But you're not wrong. You know, it probably takes a little bit of the life off of it, but you hear some cool stuff. And a radar detector is well needed if you drive quick.
I have one scanner that was in a storage unit, and it was not self-climate control. So it got cold and warm. Well, when I took it out, finally, the sucker didn't work.
Yeah, this one's digital, a little bit newer.
I said, what the heck? I'm like, my God. So now I have it written down on my list of a scanner I want to replace in the future.
Yeah, there's some good options out there.
Yeah.
Well, I have an app on my phone called Wave. And people punch in if there's a police car ahead, and the next guy punches in whether it's still there or not. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
We have that here too.
We run Waze, which is great for that. It's also really good for navigation. But we also run an app called JBV1. Which pairs with the radar detector, but pulls all of its data from Waze. And it's like Waze on stereo. It's crazy. Like it like gives you a map with like hot spots of where they normally are. So it'll say if they're there, but it also say like often people hit it here too. So, but Waze is invaluable. And I typically have 4 or 5 forms of navigation when we do a drive like this between Waze, Google Maps, Garmin.
So Jake, what's your next project?
So we're going to Alaska. I bought a 2009 F-150. So that is it's a running and driving truck. The body is completely rotten on it, but the frame is solid. The brakes are good. So I'm just going through that.
But you won't be driving that home.
No, that car is going to go there. We're going to be painting it to look like a cow. So I'm going to, scuff the whole thing and just rattle can it white and then do big cow prints on it. And then the big project for the summer is going to be the Firebird. Just going through that. Like I said, I want to pull the motor out and put an LS in it. Just make it drivable, comfortable, drivable, do better suspension, better seat belts. Because I'd like that car to be able to cruise comfortably. And then my wife is actually doing, without me, she's going with some of her friends on a similar drive from New York to San Francisco, which will be timed. So that's her first one. She's very excited for that.
That's cool.
But yeah, just trips coming up. I'm doing an event in the fall where it's like a scavenger hunt around Alabama, and you go to a bunch of different spots. So that'll be cool. I just like seeing the country. My goal is all 50 states in the next few years, and I'm high 30s right now. So I just got to pick off a few select ones. But
That's
Alaska
amazing.
will be cool.
Yeah, and be sure and keep us posted on all of that, and try to get video if you're able to.
Yeah, no, and I'm going with a bunch of people, so it's easier when you go with more people. You can kind of crowdsource, and everybody get all people's videos from here, here, and here, and then you can kind of edit them together. But it's a 4,000-mile drive, so we got to get there before we even can launch it off a cliff. So I'm sure there'll be some trials and tribulations. I've gotten good at fixing stuff on the side of the road. So
nice.
Yeah, I was just thinking maybe you guys should go train chasing. Have somebody with a camcorder and chase a train, and you can follow the train wherever it's going, especially out in the Midwest, because there's a lot of area that's just flat, no trees.
Yeah, chase the train, do like a train race, race the train. I like that.
I mean, I'm a big train buff. I like getting pictures of fleet cars and engines. And matter of fact, in my neck of the woods, on province of Worcester, 2 of their engines that they have are now on the West Coast.
Oh, no way. Wow, that's crazy.
And that's weird because they're triple axle and they can't use them around here. So the Genesee in Wyoming that owns PNW now, which is province of Worcester, they own railroads all across the country. They're painted in I call it Halloween colors.
Oh, black and orange.
That stupid orange and black color.
I'll keep an eye out for that. Out west, there was like 4-mile-long freight trains going across the desert, and you just look, you're like, how long is this going on for? When you've been out for 35 hours, you think you're just daydreaming.
Well, I forgot where it is, but there is an area where you can see the train, and it actually makes like an S curve, and the engine is there, but then you don't really realize it goes around and around and around, and then you see the S at the end, and you're like, holy shit, that's the same train.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So wow. So people are totally amazed when they go out there in the Midwest to see that.
Yeah.
Jake, which route you taking to go to Alaska?
Oh, so we're meeting up with everyone in Minnesota. So we're going to go drive from here down through like Ohio, Indiana, and then we're going to cross over in North Dakota. I think go through like Saskatoon, through, I think, up into the Yukon. I forget the name of the towns. And, up kind of a little bit through BC, I think, and then into the Yukon and then into Alaska, right by, it's called like TOK. I've got an itinerary with everything, but it'll be fun. And from what I hear, deep Canada is like, there's not much there, like a few hundred miles between gas stations. So we're bringing, extra cans of fuel. And luckily we'll have enough cars where, if we got to siphon a gallon from one to give to the other, it'll be cool. There's some, there's Pontiac G8, which is a shame. It's getting sent off the cliff. A V8, kind of the next GTO 4-door from the 2000s. My truck, a couple other trucks. There's talk about a Porsche Panamera that's got a flood title and isn't worth anything because it's a salvage vehicle. So there's some cool stuff that's planned.
And keep in mind, we got a volcano up there too that's ready to blow.
Oh, hopefully we don't run into that. But what a way to go if it is a volcano. So hopefully not.
So we've got one last video clip to play. This is from I think it was the Essex show in 23. We met up with Jake. And yet another time, we always meet up with him at these shows, which is always fun.
All these different shows.
And we met up, and he was showing us some of his finds. And we'll just leave it at that and play the video clip, and it'll speak for itself. Let's take a look. It's just taking a moment to load.
Here we are at the Street Rod Nationals in Essex, Vermont. I'm walking around swap meets here with my Cannonball shirt, which if you don't know, Cannonball was started in the 1970s by Brock Yates of Car and Driver, and it was driving as fast as you can from New York to LA. And since then, there's been a little bit of a cult following behind it. People have really started to kind of get used to it. And I actually did one back in April myself we did a video on it of the podcast, but basically you start at the Red Ball Garage in New York City and you drive as fast as you can to LA. So right now the record is held at 25 hours and 39 minutes, which is an average speed of well over 110 miles an hour. We did it in 34:41, but walking around the swap meet today, someone noticed my shirt and they actually pulled me aside and said they had this. So this is one of the Car and Driver magazines from 1975. This is when they, right before they were about to do I think it was their third or their fourth race, or it was right after it, but they did one in 1975, and the guy said, hey, I was planning on reading it, and I made him an offer he couldn't refuse, and I bought not only this, but the whole stack of 1975 Car and Drivers. So
you got the whole year.
I got the whole year. I'm keeping August. If anyone else would like anything else, I'm happy to share, but this one's mine. It's probably going to go in a frame up on my wall. with all my other Cannonball stuff. But if you like to drive really fast, if you like to avoid police and have a good time with your friends, I highly recommend it. But it's not for the faint of heart. It is a long drive.
It's a commitment.
It's a commitment, and it's a good time. It was, I have plans to do it again. I have plans in the near future. So if you see me wearing my shirt and you have anything or you want to say, definitely stop and let's talk Cannonball. It's a good time.
One question for you.
What's going on, Virgil?
How many drivers? Is it just one driver driving the whole time?
So you can do it. There's no rules as long as the same people start in New York that end in LA.
Okay.
So we did it with 3 drivers. Only two of our drivers drove a whole time. One of them was a kind of a fill-in for when we got tired.
Yeah.
I do have a friend though. He currently holds the solo non-stop record from New York to LA. He did it in 33 and change. I forget exactly, but he did it by himself, non-stop, no stops for fuel. He did it in a Toyota Prius with 110 gallons of gas in it. And I like to think I'm crazy, but this guy is next level, and he loves his Priuses, and I can't really blame him. He does some crazy stuff in them.
That's cool. Prius with gas, huh?
Prius with gas, 111 gallons, I think it was.
Crazy.
I'm still just trying to get over a Prius with gas.
This guy loves his Priuses. He's now done a lot of coast-to-coast drives in them. He's now starting to do, a lot of what people did in the 90s and 80s when they started taking the old 4-cylinder Pintos and the Novas and all the cars that no one really cared about, much like today's Prius, and just doing stupid stuff with them, whether it's lifting them and putting them in 33-inch tires and mud bogging them, or going crazy and putting an LS and making it rear-wheel drive. But he loves his Toyotas. He does crazy things with them, and a lot of us car guys hate Priuses, but at the end of the day, if it has 4 wheels and you're doing something cool with it doesn't matter if it's a Prius, a Yugo, a Corvette, a Lamborghini. We're car people. We like everything. So, and that's kind of what we're out here today. You see, a little bit of everything.
Especially when someone's thinking out of the box like that.
Think outside the box. You don't have to have a cool car to do cool car things. Just get a car and start doing stuff, whether it's driving coast to coast or doing, track days or whatever. Just do fun stuff with a car. I like all kinds of cars. So that's what it's all about. It's just having a good time.
For sure.
Yeah.
Cool deal.
Good to go.
Yes, thank you, Jake.
Yeah, for sure.
So who can resist Jake Dwinell, the car guy with that kind of music under it?
I appreciate that. Yeah, no, that was cool. I think I ran into you that day, just happenstance. We weren't planning on meeting up or anything. I was just like, hey,
Yes.
there you are.
Yes.
Which was, I feel like it's happened a couple times, so it's pretty interesting.
Definitely. I think here's a still shot from that same same day.
Yeah, exactly.
Always a good time. Always a good time.
Yeah, it's cool. We've had some good times. A lot more to come too.
Oh yes, for sure. Looking forward to seeing you this summer. And since we've got that graphic on the screen, do you want to do another shameless plug?
Yeah, if you or anyone you know is looking for a new vehicle, we try to be really transparent, and I love cars. So if you're looking for something specific or you want someone that's going to be really passionate about finding something that you love, just give me a call. That's my big thing, is I like to be, a car guy for people that like cars. My number is on the screen. My email is there. But yeah, I'm always happy to help, even if you just have general questions.
Cool deal. Cool deal. Yeah, thank you so much, Jake, for coming on again. It's always good to have you on.
Yeah, absolutely. I got some more stuff coming this year, and like I said, I'll make videos of all the trips we do and any project updates, which hopefully there'll be a lot of.
Excellent. Yeah, we look forward to that. And Michael, closing thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little jealous. I wish I could do what you're doing. Money is not there for me, and I never owned a vehicle, can't afford one. So, I just wish. But I do love seeing the videos, though, because, you get to see a few things. But I know you guys don't get to stop, but, you get a little bit of the stuff along the way.
No, I appreciate that. I'm very fortunate to be in the position I'm in. And with my father-in-law passing, I figured life's short. You never know what's going to happen tomorrow. So try to do what you can today.
That's exactly my motto, because that's how I'm thinking at this point in my life. I'm like, I don't care what people think or whatever anymore. You just go out and do what you want to do, because you never know. You could be here today, you could be gone tomorrow. You just might enjoy every single day you got.
Of course.
Cool. And Rob, closing thoughts?
Jake, I like your attitude. I got an event I'm going to attend this year, and the cars aren't roadworthy, but everybody's got an artwork on their car.
Oh,
so they got to be able to drive down Main Street to get judged. People do crazy things to their car and make it look like artwork.
Take the pictures.
And Jake, you said a quick thing about a vehicle that was kind of rotted out with the fenders and stuff that you're going to be driving.
Yeah.
I have a friend that lives right here in the town, the Como I live in, and he's got just a little bit of rot above the back fender on his pickup. It won't pass inspection.
I'll tell you my quick hack for that, because I just went through this. If you go on Amazon and you buy a $100 fender flare kit that is going to perfectly cover and encapsulate all that rust, you no longer have holes in your bodywork, and it will pass inspection. I just did that with mine, and it looks like, I'm like, wow, I shouldn't even launch this off a cliff, but I know what's under there.
I just don't understand that. They make the back of the front of the truck doesn't rot out. The back fenders is like, what the heck? Why can't you not protection? But
it's just
keep it truck for 10 years and get rid of it.
Yeah, every little nook and cranny.
Yep.
Cool. And Rob, final thoughts?
Great show, and enjoy seeing you again, Jake.
I'd love to see you too. Hopefully I'll be on more. I'll make some more stuff.
Definitely. Keep us posted on both your adventures and your misadventures.
Yeah, and if you want to follow me, I'm Jake Dwinell on Facebook. I'm Dwinell Jake on Instagram. So feel free to follow me. I try to post some adventures we do there.
For sure. Yeah, always a pleasure to have you on, Jake. I look forward to
Thank you for having
seeing
me.
you at some of the car shows this summer.
We'll cross paths.
All righty. And as always, we give the last word to Amsoil. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful evening.
Good night. Have a great evening.
Hello, everyone. This is Rob and Mike. How you doing today, Rob?
I'm doing good. Mike, yourself?
Very well. Thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it. Now, today, we're going to be talking about Amsoil. And in a few moments, we're going to show you how you can get the deepest discounts, free shipping, and free gifts when you order your Amsoil products through us. But first, I'm going to ask Rob to give you a quick description of what Amsoil is and why you should consider using Amsoil products in your motorized vehicles.
Thanks, Mike. Amsoil is 100% synthetic oil. Everybody uses Amsoil for a different reason. Some people like the benefits that Amsoil is warranted for 25,000 miles or 1 year. The reason we can do that is because Amsoil doesn't oxidize. It doesn't form the usual carbons, gums, sludges like petroleum oils do. That's why we can keep it in the engines longer. Petroleum oils never do wear out. They oxidize themselves. That's why they have to be changed at 3,000 kilometers. And Amsoil likes the benefit that you only have to change the oil once a year. That saves some money. Some of the people like the benefit of Amsoil is it's a slipperier type lube. By having a slipperier type lube, it cuts down friction and drag. By less friction and drag, engines run 20 to 50 degrees cooler, better gas mileage. Now, Amsoil says 25% more protection than the industry requires is in the Amsoil bottles. My average customer gets about 10% increase in gas mileage. That's a big savings.
Yeah.
And by cutting down friction and drag, for every 10 degrees you cut down the friction and drag, doubles the life of the engine. So by having the engine run cooler, it makes it last longer. Some people like the benefit of the range of the Amsoil. Amsoil's flash point is 425 degrees, and it pours at 50 below zero. Wow. If you ever tried petroleum oil when it's 10 below, it turns to honey. And in the summertime, petroleum oil thins out, and once it thins out, that's when it starts breaking down. So Amsoil's an all-season oil, can give you better gas mileage, longer engine life, less maintenance. It ends up being cheaper over a year's time running Amsoil than it is petroleum oils.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And Amsoil is available for pretty much any motorized vehicle, anything from lawn equipment, cars, trucks, boats, ATVs, motorcycles, snowmobiles.
Yep. And a lot of people phone me up and say, well, what's the benefit of our gear lube? Exactly what I told you about the engine oil. It pours in cold weather, it runs cooler, makes the equipment last longer. And they say, well, what's the benefit of the small engine? Same thing. Makes the engine run cooler, last longer, better performance. So it saves on all the applications that Amsoil has available.
Wonderful. So yeah, let's talk now. Hopefully this has convinced people to think about maybe joining us in the Amsoil experience. Let's talk about some of the discounts and free shipping and how that all happens. I'm going to pop a graphic on the screen. And by all means, if you want to talk talk people through how this preferred customer program works.
Amsoil has a number of different programs. One of our main ones is a catalog customer, where somebody can order directly out of our catalog. If they order out of the catalog, they order $100 worth, Amsoil will ship it right to their house. But our best program is our preferred customer. For only $10 for 6 months, you become a preferred customer, you save 25% on all the product. You order $100 worth, they're going to give you free shipping. You don't have to order a whole case. You can mix and match. Say you want 4 bottles of small engine, 7 bottles of 5W30, and a couple of gear loops. You can mix and match. You can order 1 bottle at a time if you want. There's no minimums, no maximums. By being a preferred customer, you save over 25% on all the products you're going to buy. Amsoil sends you extra gifts, a $5 gift certificate on your birthday, $5 when you renew your account, and stuff like that. So it's a good way to save on some of the products you want to buy.
For sure, for sure. Yeah, it's an incredible value, and this is the deepest level of discount that anyone can get when ordering Amsoil. Is that correct?
It is. It is.
Wonderful, wonderful. So let's take people through the step-by-step experience of placing an Amsoil order. Then that would include signing up for the preferred customer discount, or sorry, preferred customer program, so they can receive those deepest levels of discount. So let's go to the website. This is what the website's going to look like. These are some screenshots. Once you go to amsoil.com, there's a link in the description, or you can just type that into a browser, amsoil.com. This is the page you land on. At the upper corner of the page there, you see how I've circled in red. That is the link to click, the Join Now link. That will take you to the Preferred Customer Program page, where you can take advantage of all these discounts and free shipping and everything that we've just been talking about. This is what that page looks like. In the lower right, you're going to click Join Now. This will pop up. You select the duration you'd like, whether it's 6 months or 12 months, and click Add to Cart. Now, once this pop-up goes away, you'll be back on the main page. And the upper left, you'll see where I've got that red arrow. It says Shop. Now you can start shopping for products, and on your very first order, you're going to get these discounts and the free shipping as long as it's over $100. You'll get all of these benefits right away. So once you click Shop, it's going to take you to the product page. There's different types of oils, lubricants, so on and so forth. For the benefit of this exercise we're doing now, I'm just going to click motor oil. It shows different types of motor oil. Let's click gasoline. Now this takes us to an item. It's their synthetic motor oil. And you can see the item there, and there's choices for different viscosities. But take a look at the price. Let's take a closer look. Let's zoom in. But if you've joined the preferred customer program first, you're going to automatically get the deepest levels of discount. That's what we're looking at here. You're saving $3.80 on that quart of oil. Instead of paying $16.29, you're now paying $12.49 for that quart of oil. That is the deepest level of discount you can possibly get. And then you just add the quantity that you'd like. You select any other items that you're thinking about, add them to the cart. And once you click Add to Cart for the final time, you're going to see this come up at the top of the screen. It's going to show your items and the total that you're at so far. Pardon me. And then you just click View Cart in the upper right, and that'll take you to your cart. Take a close look here at the upper right. That blue box shows that you're getting free shipping. You're eligible for free shipping on this order because it's over $100. That little yellow box shows that you've got the preferred customer membership on your order that gives you the deepest levels of discounts for the next 6 to 12 months. And then below that, you've got the items that have been selected. For the exercise here, I selected 9 quarts of the Signature Series, but that brings us up over $100 for the free shipping. We're saving $34.20. And if you're ready to finish, you click Checkout Now, and that takes you to this screen here. If you haven't signed up with an Amsoil account at this point, just click in the lower right to create an account, create a new account. It's going to ask you for some basic information, name, and those types of things. Now let's take a closer look. You'll see this gray shaded box. This is a very important box. This is going to ask you if someone has referred you to Amsoil. And if so, please enter my name. My name is Mike LaPierre. It's spelled right there on the screen for the correct spelling. And also the referral number, 304-555-94. That's how you make sure that Rob and I get credit for this. Now, in the interest of full disclosure, I have signed up for Amsoil under Rob. So when you order using this referral number, Rob and I both benefit. So if you enjoy these podcasts that we're doing, this is a wonderful way to support the podcast, because when you order using this referral number, Rob and I both benefit. And the commissions I make go directly toward offsetting the cost of doing these podcasts. So I thank you in advance for that, for using my referral number. I very much appreciate it. And once you've done that, you just go into the next screen to enter your payment information, and you're done. Now, once you've placed your order that's over $100, and that order includes your Amsoil Preferred Customer Program, you are now eligible to get a free DVD from myself. Now, this is going to be either a muscle car DVD or a vintage snowmobile DVD. Use the email address on the screen, wkspodcasts@gmail.com. Send me an email. Let me know which DVD you would like me to send you, the muscle car or the vintage snowmobile DVD, and I'll get that right out to you. As you're typing in that email, in the subject line, be sure and type in capital letters "free DVD requests" so it stands out as I'm checking my email, and we'll get that right out to you. So I guess the last thing, Rob, that we wanted to talk about is if someone is considering Amsoil as a business opportunity.
Yes. If anybody has a retail or a commercial account and they would like to buy directly from Amsoil, just send Mike a line. He'll show you how to set up and you can buy directly from Amsoil. But if you are interested in starting your own part-time business, a part-time business that can grow into a full-time income, Mike and I will show you the Amsoil marketing plan. Amsoil has a large selection of products that cover almost every application. So it doesn't matter if you're into snowmobile, boating, or ATVing or hot rods, we have an oil for every application. It's a fun type business that's I really enjoy doing. Where else can I go and have fun and make money doing it? And Mike and I are here to help you all the way along. If you need any help on how to promote or to find new accounts, we're here to help you.
For sure, for sure. So when you sign up under that that number, this 304-555-94, you're getting Rob and I as a team. Now, Rob has been doing Amsoil for 40 years. Can you believe that? 40 years. So he knows every aspect of this business and he knows all of the ins and outs of the products. So he'll be able to help you with any kind of product questions or any kind of questions to show you the different business models that you can do with Amsoil. And then the other thing that you get when you sign up under me is I've got a strong background in social media. So if you need some coaching on how to generate Amsoil leads using Facebook and YouTube, I'm happy to coach you with that when you sign up under Rob and I. You get both of us as a team to help you, to coach you, to support you, whatever you need to get you off and running with this business and having fun with it. Like Rob said, it's an enormous amount of fun. If you're like Rob and I and you enjoy going to any kind of boat shows, car shows, motorcycle shows, snowmobile shows, anything with a motor, you like going to those shows, those events, those races, this is a great way to turn that into a income opportunity for you.
Yes, yes. And just by wearing my Amsoil hat at one of these events, people come up and ask me about Amsoil. People don't know where to buy it, and I'm there to help them, show them where they can buy the product.
Perfect. Well, cool. Well, this is great. Any final thoughts, Rob, before we wrap it up?
Amsoil's a fun business. Amsoil's been around since 1968. It was the first synthetic oil to be AI approved.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And that's very early in the game too, isn't it?
Yes.
For sure. Well, good. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for viewing. Hopefully, we've gotten you excited as we are about the Amsoil products. We'd love it if you could join us either as someone who uses the Amsoil products or to join the Amsoil team as a business opportunity. And we thank you so much for viewing. Have a great day.
You have a good day.